Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this August 6th, 2024 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Friendly reminder that today is primary election day, and I encourage everyone to exercise their right to vote. The polls are open until 8 p.m. Our office coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you're here in person and would like to make comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you're joining us virtually and are experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and our communications manager will help you troubleshoot. If you would like closed captioning during the meeting, you'll have to manually change your settings, click on the captions button and select show captions. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted to our website in the next few days. And there are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door, and it is also posted on our website. And now I'll turn it back over to Chair Fuller.
Thank you, Aaron. And I now call this August 6th, 2024 regular meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas will join us at a later time. Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Present.
And Commissioner Jeff Smers is absent today. And then the following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Matt Washtenaw, Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Brent Schlack, and Director of Finance Dan Ackerman.
Thank you. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So move.
Support.
Any discussion, any changes, corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. The agenda is approved as presented. Next item, we have two sets of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of July 16th, 2024, appearing on pages 4 through 24 of the packet?
So moved.
Support.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the board meeting minutes of July 16th are accepted as presented. Next, may I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of July 16th, 2024 as presented, appearing on pages 25 through 27.
So move.
Support.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green. And
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the working session minutes of July 16th are accepted as presented. Next, we will have reports from our county commission liaisons. I see that Commissioner Sanders is with us. Good morning, good afternoon, Commissioner.
Good afternoon, Chair Fuller. I would just like to share with you that today is Happy E-Day, Happy Election Day. And as you said, I'm encouraging everybody, even if it's raining, to get out and cast their vote if they haven't already. I do want to publicly say, since I kind of called it out on the last call about thinking that I had not received a response from the Road Commission, I did receive 2 responses, one earlier that I missed and one most recently. And work has already begun in terms of marking one of the streets in my district for possible speed bumps. So I want to say thank you, because if I'm going to complain, I'm also going to apologize if I was in error. So I want to publicly do that, and also remind you that this coming Wednesday or tomorrow, we will not have a working session meeting for the Board of Commissioners. That has been suspended or canceled, but we will have our normal general board meeting starting at 7 p.m. So just so the public knows, there will not be a 5:30 meeting. We will start at 7 p.m. And that's it for my updates. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Managing Director.
I just wanted to thank Commissioner Sanders for her patience. It's taken a little time for us to collect the data, and we've done it numerous times for the traffic calming, neighborhood traffic calming program. So I appreciate your patience and thank you.
Certainly.
Commissioner,
You all do an excellent
anytime.
job. I
You know
appreciate
how to find us.
I sure do. Thank you.
You're welcome. I do not see Commissioner Light, correct? Okay, we will move on then to public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Aaron will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments. Aaron.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. We will start with those who are in person today. For those that signed in on the sign-in sheet, you're welcome to make comment. If you didn't sign in, you're still welcome to make comment. Our communications manager will notify you when it is your turn.
Hi, yes, we do have one gentleman in person, Mr. Phillip. Can you come to the podium, please?
Hello,
Hello.
my name's Philip Sparks. I live at 11161 North Platte Road, Milan, Michigan. And I understand they're gonna pave my street, but I would appreciate if they remove the gravel that's there from my asphalt driveway and put a slope to meet my asphalt driveway. That's what I'm here about. I'll put a shout out that I've never seen snow knock a mailbox down, but mine's been knocked down several times. Hope it doesn't happen this year, but I'm on record. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Mr. Sparks, in this lovely weather.
Election day.
Yeah, well, and it's raining again, so
All right.
not as hard as it has been. Anyone else? Tiffany?
No, Madam Chair.
Mr. Swenson, hello. I see you're here, but perhaps he doesn't want to make comment. We will move on to written communications appearing on pages 28 through 31 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, I would like to draw our attention to page 31. The communication to Ms. Patricia Yocum. She was the attendee, excuse me. She was the attendee at the chat with a commissioner, road commission. And she expressed her concerns about Lamplighter Drive. And Managing Director Washtenaw responded very eloquently to her and letting her know about what will be happening, upcoming improvements. And I just want to thank our Managing Director for responding so quickly to this resident. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Commissioner Green, anything?
I also join in that response.
All right.
Nice response. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Right. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to road commissioner comment and staff follow-up to public comment. Mr. Schlack, did you want to respond to Mr. Sparks at this time or not?
Sure.
And then you would, okay.
1 second.
Right.
Yep.
All right, good afternoon, Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. Yeah, I had spoken with Mr. Sparks and I'll speak prior to the meeting and I'll speak with him after. We are paving that segment of Platte Road in cooperation with the township. And that was an agreement that was passed by this board a couple of meetings ago. So we'll work with Mr. Sparks and we'll go out and evaluate and determine what is needed and determine how we can help.
That's York Township, right?
Correct.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
Commissioner McCollum.
Madam Chair, I just want to thank Mr. Sparks for coming to our meeting and. Right, is that me? Sorry.
The aliens have landed.
For coming to our meeting and letting us know
Did
what is going on your street and and what needs to be done. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mrs. Sparks.
And you know how to reach Brent now, right? You've got his card.
I'm pretty sure he gave it.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
If you can't find it, check with Emma on your way out and she'll give you another. Right? You're welcome. Tiffany, anyone else? Okay. Commissioners, anything further? Matt, did you have anything no? Okay.
Thank you.
Well, let's move along then. The next item on the agenda is new business. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 8? The motions will appear on pages 32 through 48. The background is actually contained on pages 53 through 67.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? You have questions about? Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bert Fuller.
Yes, the consent agenda is approved as presented. Next, we have 5 action items to consider. May I have a motion to approve action item number 1 to vote for 3 CRASIF board trustees? That CRASIF is an acronym for the County Road Association Self-Insurance Fund. This is a pooled fund for county road commissions that manage worker compensation issues. The motion appears on page 49, background on pages 68 through 78. Motion, please.
Madam Chair, the board hereby votes for Darrell Cass to serve as the Upper Peninsula Association position, 3-year term. Jesse Campbell to serve as the Northern Michigan Association of Road Commission position, 3-year term. And Lisa Kleeman to serve as the at-large position, 3-year term on the County Road Association Self-Insurance Fund Board of Trustees.
I support.
Any discussion at all? If not, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bert Fuller.
Yes. The nominees for the CRASIF Board of Trustees is approved and our votes will be forwarded to the CRASIF representatives as appropriate. May I have a motion to approve action item number 2 to approve the 2024 second quarter budget amendments as presented? The motion appears on page 50. The background is on pages 79 through 117.
Madam Chair, I move that upon the recommendation of the Director of Finance and the concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the 2024 second quarterly budget amendments as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? Mr. Ackerman, did you want to comment?
Good afternoon, Board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. As we talked at the working session, if there were any changes to the proposed revisions, we would cover that with the board. And I'm, I guess, happy to say, or just letting you know that there were no changes to the proposed revisions. Some of the actual numbers changed, as I stated before. We hadn't closed the books yet, but what you're voting on is proposed revisions, and that's exactly the same as what we shared at the working session. So I don't know if there's any questions beyond that.
Mr. Managing Director.
Yes, the only
Thank you.
thing I would add to that is we added an appendix O on page 117 of the board packet, 38 of the budget document, the projected 2025 and 2026 budget projections. That is something we covered in the working session that we thought appropriately adding it to the document for the second quarter budget revisions.
I'm hopeful we don't have to go to double numbers for our appendices in the future.
Exactly, yes.
Yes, I
Thank you.
appreciate you thoroughly reviewing it during the working session.
Great
This
questions.
document is a little long, but very important. It is the basis for all that we do, and we refer to it as staff on a daily basis. So it's very important with all the appendices and projects and whatnot that we keep track of. I know that we covered it at length, and it's once again in the board packet for official adoption.
Thank you. Anything?
No.
Anything else, Dan?
No,
No?
not good.
All right. Thank you. Aaron, if you would, please. Wait, did we have a motion?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
I
Okay.
support.
All right.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rackering,
Yes.
and Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes, the second quarter budget amendments are approved as presented. Thank you again, Dan, for all your work on that. May I have a motion to approve action item number 3 to revise Article 37 compensatory time in the TPOAM, that acronym stands for Technical, Professional, and Office Workers Association. It's their collective bargaining agreement. The motion appears on page 51.
Madam Chair, I move that the board hereby approves the Article 37 compensatory time upon the recommendation of the Human Resources Manager and with the concurrence of the Managing Director.
Support.
Yes, I can kick us off. Nicole, if you wouldn't mind joining us at the podium.
Fall.
Absolutely. So I will say that the compensatory time, often referred to as comp time, was added to the contract. This first time it's been in my career here to the TPOM union contract. And we did a look back for the first year and we thought it would be appropriate to make a change. And I will quickly hand it over to Nicole to describe the process we went through.
Yeah, I just want
Identify yourself for the record.
Nicole Peterson, Human Resources Manager. I told myself too when I came up.
You need a little card. That's okay.
I'm not up here enough. I don't know if that's good or bad. So what I really wanted to highlight is we had a really productive, positive meeting with the union stewards and their business agent. We had Adam Lape and Matt McNell and myself there, plus a couple other observers, just to talk about this article in particular and moving forward, how we can best serve the members within the TPOAM group and the Road Commission. And so making this the 100-hour cap where we don't have this revolving bank will help us better manage the program and also allow them to use it with the same parameters as we do annual leave, where essentially it's taken without, or it's taken, just by calling in prior to the start of the shift or anything like that. And that was important to them, that same instruction to foreman was given the way annual leave is to comp time.
It's administered the same way.
Yeah.
And it also, one of the things that was different, there was our non-union was also availed comp time through our policy, which we're going to talk about later on the agenda under action item number 5.
Right.
That was different than how the union bank was working. So we want to really make them the same. So that was also discussed through the process. So we're making both the union and non-union folks that are availed to comp time, we're doing it the same way as an organization. That was important discussion as well.
And that's been a goal of yours for years, right? To have alignment
Yes.
between the two groups.
Yes, yes.
Good work. Any other questions, commissioners? Anything else either of you wanted to add?
I just want to highlight how well working together with them went and how constructive and productive the conversation was, and that we were all able to come to an agreement fairly quickly, and that they worked hard to communicate and get that information out to their membership for them to vote on it and ratify this article for us to bring it here today.
So this actually went to their membership for ratification
Yes, it did.
prior to today,
Yes.
before us.
Correct.
Good to know. All right, thank you. Aaron, please.
Commissioner Rackering,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
and Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes. Action item number 3 is approved as presented. We'll move on to action item number 4. May I have a motion to approve action item number 4, the counter offer that will acquire both an easement and temporary grading permit in conjunction with the Gettys Road Pathway Project. The motion appears on page 52, background on page 118 through 132.
Madam Chair, That upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the counter offer as presented in Attachment 1 for a non-motorized pathway easement and temporary grading permit upon a parcel of property with a corresponding tax parcel identification number of J-10-35-200-010 in the amount of $15,200.
I support.
Discussion. Anything?
I
yet?
will certainly
Brent?
kick this off. This is the Gettys Road Pathway Project that we're working with Superior Township. We've talked about this in the past meeting, it being delayed. So it was actually taken out of the budget, but it will be going into the budget for next season. So it will be built next year,
2025?
2025.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll still have some expenses for getting it into a bid letting and whatnot, but ultimately the construction of this has been delayed until 2025. One of the reasons was this last piece of real estate required an easement. And now this final, if the board approves this, we will then submit to MDOT saying we certify that this project has all the easements necessary to construct this project. Brent, I'm sorry if I stole your thunder.
No, you didn't. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. No, you didn't. Yeah, we've been working with this property owner, and they did come back with a counter offer. We reviewed that counter offer. And as you can see on your screen, that the parcel that we're discussing is the one that's highlighted. So to give you some reference, we'll see if I can do
Thanks,
this.
Tiffany.
Um,
Or Brent, whoever
oh,
did that.
So so this is Harris Road here. And this is Gettys. Let me see if I can go out a little bit more to give you some more reference.
Between
so-
Harris and Bridge, essentially.
Yeah, correct. So you can see the parcel. Here's US 23 and then Gettys Road, which goes to the east. And so it's just east of Harris is the parcel that we're discussing. So we had reviewed their counter offer and we found it acceptable. And all the supporting documents within the packet. So if there's any other questions. So we felt we were comfortable to move forward and bring it to your attention, put it on the board agenda.
This project will be a really nice addition to the community. There's already a very nice trail, shared use pathway on Gettys Road, west of Harris. And so you see a lot of addresses there that are going to get connected to this pathway, extending it further to the east so that all these rooftops essentially will now have access to take the trail west. Quite a ways. It runs quite a ways.
Commissioner Green?
So the pathway is gonna run along Gettys Road, correct?
Correct.
So why is?
Yeah, on the south side of Gettys Road. Let me see if I can pull up the aerial to
If you zoom in, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So it crosses that highlighted parcel, their frontage along Gettys.
Correct. Just gonna go where the pathway was at. Oh, hold on. So you can see the pathway here. I don't know if you can see that. Zoom in a little bit more.
And it runs down the forge as well, and then
runs down
crosses
the
over.
forge,
Okay.
and so it'll connect to this and head to the east along Gettys.
Does that answer your
So
question?
this is a township project that we're working with them. See this, they have fill in this gap here and then it'll continue from along this frontage of Gettys. See the pathway here. So it'll make this complete connection. Harris.
There's an existing path that runs down Harris and connects to the library.
Yeah, we just put a traffic signal here. There'll be, and there's
Right.
signals for the pedestrian movement.
And currently it ends at Andover,
Yeah.
and so it'll
So
begin.
Continue, correct.
So why is the entire portion in blue?
That's just the parcel that we're discussing. So that's the property that we're discussing. So if you look within the board packet, you'll see, these are the property lines for that parcel, that match these. And so that easement for that, pathway is across that whole parcel,
I see.
Just the frontage.
just the frontage, correct?
Okay, thank you.
So is there a gap? It seems like there was a gap back west.
I think that's an old aerial.
Ah,
Yes.
okay, okay. And this is being underwritten by the township?
Correct.
It is, yes, correct.
And in federal funds, the TAP funds that
Great.
we were awarded together that we applied for.
Yes.
Okay.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anything?
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay,
I
great.
think we're good. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Tiffany.
If you would, please, Aaron.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green
Yes.
and Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes, action item number 4 is approved. Last action item, may I have a motion to approve action item number 5 to update the overtime compensatory time policy for non-union employees achieving consistency with the TPOAM agreement. The motion is on page 52, background on page 134 through 136.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
that upon the recommendation of the Human Resources Manager and with the concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the attached overtime compensatory time policy.
I support.
Nicole, did you want to address this at all? Nothing further or?
While she's coming up to the microphone, if you look on page 136 of the board packet, the part that changed in this policy just limited to the maximum number of hours that employees are eligible to bank for compensatory time, matching 100 hours. Previously, it was 120. It's being lowered to 100 to be in line with the TPOM contract.
Nicole Peterson, Human Resources Manager. I just wanted to make note that this does not impact any current non-union employees that may be over the 100-hour threshold. We don't have any, nor were they reaching that. So I just wanted to assure the board.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Did you have a question? Okay. Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green
Yes.
and Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes. Action item number 5 is approved as presented. Next, we'll move on to report of the road commissioners, starting with Commissioner McCullum.
Yes, Madam Chair. On July 17th, I attended the chat with the Road Commission, and there was one attendee, Ms. Patricia Yoakum, regarding upcoming improvements to Lamplighter Drive. And on July 24th, I attended the Commissioner Committee meeting at Soaring Eagle. At this meeting, we established a location for the Commissioner workshops for the next 5 years. And also, if everyone remember to register for the 2024 Commissioners Workshop, and I will be moderating at that workshop the special presentation for the CRA Impress Award winners. We also reviewed at the meeting the completed update on the 2024 Commissioners Handbook. It should be out sometime this month. And on August 1st, I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony for Zeeb to Delhi segment Border to Border Trail. On August 5th, I attended the Southeastern Council meeting and reported on the Commissioners Committee at that meeting. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McCollum. Commissioner Yamas is not present, so we will move to Commissioner Green.
I have no report.
I will report that on July 18th, I attended the Washtenaw County Road Commission's 5th Touch a Truck of the season in Milan. This was a well-attended event, and the Washtenaw County Road Commission was represented by Carl Rader, District 5 heavy truck driver, Ken Chapman, sign erector, Tiffany Oliphant, communications manager, Trevor Fiesel, District 5 foreman, Ken Harris, superintendent. I'd like to note that Trevor and Ken had several conversations with prospective truck drivers, and they were prompted by the recently added "We're hiring" poster, thank you, Tiffany, that was added to the display table. On July 20th and August 3rd, I attended the Dexter Forum. Our Managing Director, Matt McDonnell, also attended the August 3rd Forum, and the Washtenaw County Road Commission presence is noticed and appreciated. Occasionally, questions will come up about the roads, and it's a perfect opportunity to provide an update and clarification on the status of projects in question, to explain the why and the how of Washtenaw County Road Commission operations. Thank you, Matt, for finding time on the weekend to attend these forums. On July 22nd, I joined the Zoom meeting of the Township Supervisors along with Matt McDonnell, Managing Director. These periodic discussions provide occasions for identifying and interacting with Township Supervisors. July 25th, I participated in a discussion with representatives of Comcast regarding a compliance issue. The conversation included Washtenaw County Road Commission team members and multiple Comcast staff members. July 31st, I served as the Washtenaw County Road Commission board member at our weekly chat session, along with Adam Lape, Director of Operations, and Aaron Smith, our office coordinator. There were no visitors. On August 5th, yesterday, I too attended the quarterly meeting of the County Road Association's Southeast Council of Road Agencies. It convened in Mason, Michigan. We had 5 individuals from our organization there: Adam Late, Director of Operations; Matt McDonnell, Managing Director; Commissioner Joanne McCullum, and Commissioner Gloria Llamas were also there. We will move on to staff reports. They appear on pages 137 through 149. Matt.
Yes, I'd like to highlight a few things of our staff report. I will say, much like any organization, the one constant is always change. We seem to always having, through either retirements or folks seeking other opportunities. HR is doing a wonderful job advocating and getting applications and just trying to backfill all those vacant positions. It's a tough challenge, tough job market, but they're doing a great job. We're working to backfill some of these positions. James Wee obviously resigned, and also I'd like to note Emma Sharp, our communication associate. Today's her last day. She's done a tremendous job in that position, and we wish her well in her future endeavors. But we're looking to backfill that important role as well. On good news, Micah Robinson, one of our light truck drivers, completed the 3-week commercial driver's license CDL course and is now a heavy truck driver. So very excited about that. So
Congratulations, Micah.
Very exciting. So wanted to note that. Also, under our IT report, I did want to note Chris Quinter is taking the lead in setting up our WCRC Learning Academy that's through Absorb. He is taking the lead, but also all the hard work HR is doing to get us set up in that. We're going to be starting a pilot group during the 3rd quarter here, with the idea of rolling it out in the 4th quarter. One of the things that we needed to do is also set up emails for all of our drivers. That wasn't previously a practice that we've done, but we thought there's a lot of advantages to that. So better communication, direct communication. So today was our first day of meeting with the crews and setting them up with emails and usernames and getting them set up in the kiosk areas for break room. But anywhere that they can access the internet, they can access their email accounts as well. So that is moving forward, should be done by the end of the week. So all of our drivers who don't currently have email will have email. So that's a step forward for the organization. Also a necessary step for our WCRC Learning Academy as well. So some of the exciting things happening that I just wanted to make mention of, and give thanks to some of our staff that are working very hard on these endeavors. So
I'd like to just thank Nicole again for all your work in getting this CDLA program launched.
Thank
I
you.
think it's a wonderful opportunity for some of our employees that would like to have an advanced certification. The $5,000 and change tuition is being covered by this organization to make it possible for a current employee to pursue that opportunity. And they are also paid as if they were working. So they're earning while they're learning in that instance. And I know you've worked on this for years, and I want to say thank you and congratulations for getting it off the ground. Very nice. And best wishes to Micah. That's exciting. That's great. Okay.
With that, why don't we have Brent Schlack come on up and present the engineering report?
Good afternoon again. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. Tiffany's going to kind of follow along again with our projects to give you some updates there. So for our countywide paving, Hogback Road, between M17 and Clark Road. This is a millage project. This is a pulverization project. So we have pulverized, and so we're getting ready to start paving that roadway soon. The weather has kind of delayed us some, but we're hoping by the end of the week that we'll have this paved.
And M17 is otherwise known
As
as.
Washtenaw Ave. Then our next project is Dexter Chelsea Road. That's between Dancer and Parker. So there's Tiffany showing it there. Again, this one was partially completed. We did some paving over the weekend. And again, the weather has delayed us, but that will resume once weather's cleared up. And hopefully we'll get that completed here soon. Whitaker and Willis, it's a roundabout project we have down in Augusta Township. That one, happy to report that we've gotten the top course of pavement done for that. We'll be looking at pavement marking, some signage. We do have some other corrections that we need to do with that top course, but we're hoping to, that project is getting very close to being completed.
Ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule, yeah, much ahead of schedule, yes.
Commissioner McCollum has a question, Brent.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to say, Brent, that I can't wait to go that way again.
Oh.
Pictures on that, and I know how beautiful they could be, so I can't wait to, school starts up and I head my way over there.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, staff has been working very hard and doing a great job. And like Matt said, we're hoping that that'll be opening ahead of schedule.
The contrast is nice there. The road surface versus the infill on these,
Yep.
whatever you call them. The pork chop and the.
In the
big
center
circle.
island, yes, yep. Jackson Road, our concrete inlay project. So that's between Myrtle and Jackson Industrial. That project is actually coming along. They have much of the concrete down on, it's on the inside lane. We had to kind of go through the crossovers. We had to jump and try to maintain traffic through those crossovers. So they'll be moving traffic once the strength is achieved onto the new crossover so they can remove and replace the existing ones. And then we'll be moving, placing traffic on the new concrete and moving to removal for the outside lanes.
Wow.
So that we're hoping in a couple weeks we'll be able to shift traffic. But we're moving along with that project. We've been very happy.
Any trouble with people driving through our wet concrete at this point?
We have not, thankfully. No, we have not. There's been some delays out there, and we've made some adjustments to some of the traffic control, but for the most part, traffic is moving fairly smoothly through that project.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Green.
Madam Chair, so this reconstruction is the most expensive thing we do. Is that correct?
As far as pavement,
Yes.
the concrete pavement is typically more expensive than the asphalt.
Right.
But the idea is because of the commercial corridor, it'll last a little longer and hold up better with that commercial traffic, because you got a lot of trucks, a lot of dealerships on Jackson Road, so we see a lot of heavy loading, so it's very appropriate that we have a concrete section there.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and some of that trade-off is that this traffic control, right? So we have a lot of delays with, so some of those decisions on determining whether it should be hot mix asphalt or concrete, we have to look at all those impacts. But with this being a commercial corridor, like Matt said, I mean, we're putting almost 9 inches of concrete back in to this location, so it'll hold that commercial
Thank you.
traffic.
What's the life of that segment, you think?
It would be 25, 30 years. Yeah.
Obviously, we gotta do maintenance along the
Right.
way.
Yeah.
but Ultimately,
Right,
yes,
yeah, it's not a forget type project.
right.
The Border to Border Trail, segment D3, that's between Zebra Road and the Delhi Metro Parks. Tiffany will bring up, so we had a ribbon cutting last week. We had a good turnout for that, and they actually opened the pathway that day. And so it's open for use now. There are some punch list items that they're working through, but for the most part, it's usable. So we had like I said, we had a great turnout for that ribbon cutting. Thank you for Commissioner McCollum showing up. Yeah, we had Representative Van Dingle there, our Congresswoman Dingle, and then the big thanks has to go to our project manager, Michelle Ford, and our Assistant Director of Engineering, Aaron Burkholz. They really helped. I mean, this project was a long time coming. It took a long time to get there, and but the product looks great.
Where's this located, Madam Chair?
Do you have a map? Can you show it?
Oh,
Yeah, this one is
Easier
along
than
Huron River Drive
you don't have map, right?
between
Yeah.
Zebra Road and Delhi.
Okay.
The Delhi is the historic bridge that's painted orange over the Huron River. It's a 1-lane bridge.
Mhm.
It connects Delhi Metro Park to the trail. It actually was the last piece that connected all three Hudson Mills, Dexter Huron, and Delhi Metro Parks. It connects all three. And I will say, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to ride the trail. It is beautiful and a very nice bike ride.
All right.
Tiffany's trying to bring up a map for that. I think we have one we can show you. Yes, it is a beautiful trail. I know we walked it after the ribbon cutting, a portion of it, and it's very nice. Especially walking through the Metro Park.
And all the planning that goes ahead along with this, just the work with the metro parks, county parks, road commission, obviously, we're heavily involved because of the federal funds, but it was a long time coming and they're continuing to plan for the next phase. Brent and his team are working with county parks on the next phase, which will take it from essentially Delhi Metro Park close to Wagner Road.
Yep.
That'll involve two
bridges.
crossing
Correct.
of the Huron River, which will be very expensive.
Yes.
This one involved the one bridge crossing, which we saw the video of the placement of the bridge. This is that same trail.
Again, compliments to the people who had the vision and the persistence to put the money together to do this. I know Jeff Hardcastle was a big proponent of this and worked very hard to raise private funds to make this happen. So my compliments to Jeff.
Absolutely. The Huron Waterloo Pathway Initiatives was critical in this,
And Lou
along with
Kidder in
county
there as
parks.
well.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Lou
Roy
is,
Vaughn and his staff,
yep,
along with Lou Kidder. They've done a lot of work for many years and this is an important piece.
it is. Is there a map with parking identified for people who want to use these trails?
There is. If you visit the Metro Parks, the Huron Clinton Metro Parks website, they have an interactive map. And on that map, you can plan your visit to whatever Metro Park. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Tiffany. So not only can you plan your visit to whatever metro park, you can plan your travel, whether that be a water trail through the Huron River
Okay.
or for each park, whether that's just visiting or picnicking in a park or golfing. They have a lot of different options, as you can see, just from their legend there, biking, golfing,
Hmm.
You can see it.
fishing, hiking. So they have a lot of different options.
Tiffany's highlighting the three parks I just mentioned, Delhi, Dexter Huron, and then Hudson Mills. And again, we can send this link to commissioners after the meeting.
And if they have hard copy maps, they used to have a water trails map and one for this, although it's changing. relatively quickly.
I do. I remember the same. Yeah, I can follow up with Metro Parks and see if they have a hard copy version of that.
Just to have a few
Like a
available
pamphlet.
for
Yeah,
people to
yeah,
come
That's a
in
great idea.
That's a great idea.
as we circulate to be able to share that kind of information. Because you're driving along, you're like, oh, that looks nice. I wonder
Mhm.
how,
Mhm.
I'm in my car. How do I end up accessing that? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Tiffany, again, working your magic back there.
And then some upcoming work. So the Stony Creek Bridge over Paint Creek, that's just north of Textile. And that project, we're still waiting on the fabricator for it's more of like a box type bridge that will be going back, and we're waiting on that fabrication to get closer to delivery before that project starts. Bemis Road, between Hitchingham and Stony Creek. This is a millage project. Bids came in for this project and they were very favorable. We estimated the project at just over $2.6 million and the bids came in just over $2.3 million. So we're very happy for that. And so we're looking to schedule the pre-con with the contractor. E.T. McKenzie is the contractor. And we're going to schedule a pre-con and then get that project started.
And that was item number 5 in the consent agenda.
Yes.
That the board approved. So that contract award is moving forward. So thank you for that. You bet.
Aside from that, I'd encourage those that are interested in any of our projects to visit our website. Again, our communication team does a great job of keeping everybody informed and updating that website.
That's wcroads.org, yes?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Aside from that, if there's any questions, that concludes my report. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brent. Next up. Finance report.
Hello again, board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. I want to start off by saying thank you for the approval of the budget second quarter amendments. As Matt mentioned, that's a very important document. It kind of dictates all we do as an agency. So my next steps is to update our budget documents with these revisions. And as Matt mentioned, some of us are looking at these every day, so we want to make sure there's the most recent information in that. Next, I'd like to talk Michigan Transportation Funds, which is on the last page of your packet. MTF was down about 2% in June of 24 compared to 23. And overall, it's only up 0.5%, so basically flat from 2023. While I don't think that's any reason to be concerned, I did reach out to a contact I have with the state of Michigan. And I asked if the state was planning on revising any of their estimates. At one of the previous meetings I shared, the state's estimates for Michigan transportation funds. They don't feel that they need to make any adjustments at this time. They feel like it's trending about as they had estimated. So I guess if they're not concerned, I'm not. Obviously, we watch it very closely. We share the information with the board every month.
Right.
If we need to make an adjustment, we can at the end of the year. So I guess it kind of calmed me down a little bit, but obviously we'll still look at this very, very closely. And hopefully the trending goes back to increases over the previous year from month to month. So I don't know if there's any questions on that at all, but like I said, I wanted to at least reach out to the state to see if they were concerned at all about the recent trends with that.
So this is for the month of June, right?
Correct.
Then obviously we look for month to month, but also I will point out in December, typically that is much higher than the rest because they're distributing the cannabis sales to the counties. So you'll see where typically we're about hovering around 3 million per month. And then at the end of the year, you look at it and it's closer to 4. And that's because they're distributing the pot for potholes money.
And is that then the 1st of October? Reflect, right? Because year end for the state is different than the calendar.
It's actually, what you're seeing here is the month it's related to, not when we receive it. So was collected in December that we would receive in February.
Okay,
But for audit purposes, we accrue it back to the previous year because it was for December collections, if that
Okay,
makes sense. Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
So we
Good
won't
question.
actually receive the December funds until January,
February, yeah.
February.
Yes,
Okay, thank
right.
you.
Oh, Commissioner Yamas.
Hi, Dan. So that seemed like a really appropriate question that you asked them. Are they going to make any changes? Because the last two,
Right.
that's quite a bit of change. So we're still ahead by only 1.8. I want to say only, but I mean, that's still good, right? But
Yes,
if we have another bad trend,
right. So if those trends continue, we'll want to seriously consider adjusting our budget at the end of the year for Michigan Transportation Funds.
yeah, given the markets.
Yeah.
This,
But-
even this last month.
Right. But we still have 6 months to go, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot can happen in 6 months.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know it.
Watch it closely. Absolutely.
Yes. Any other questions on that? So at our previous working session on the budget, there's a lot of discussion about the county treasurer's office and their investments. And so I shared with the board a few of their investment reports, which, I think has a lot of great information in there. Some takeaways, the county treasurer's office is, very detailed as far as where all their money is invested. You can see a lot of it is in CDs and T-bills and things that are very secure. For 2023, their rate of return was about 4.5%, which is not great, but again, they're being conservative with things, which is what we want, because in the down markets especially. But that was just something that I was trying to address some of the questions that we had at the previous working session. So I just want to see if the board had any questions or comments about those reports.
The only thing I want to be reassured, there are strict guidelines about where the county can invest,
Absolutely.
right? So they're not going to be able to speculate
Yes,
as some people like to do with their personal money.
exactly. Yeah, they have a whole investment policy that they need to follow and there's very strict guidelines as far as, things have to be low risk and so on. So,
And we also, I will point out, we need to be able to access the money as well. So if
sure.
for an issue, we have the ability to pull out and,
Yep.
and spend it for unplanned expenditures.
Sure.
Yeah, and the third, I believe there were 3 PDF attachments
Mhm.
with that email, and the third attachment is the report I received from the county treasurer's office, actually county finance. On a monthly basis, at a minimum, at any point in time, I can ask for that, and I balance what the county shows we have in cash in the county pool account to what the road commission has. I balance it to the penny. Any discrepancies are resolved very quickly. I do have bi-monthly meetings with county treasurer's office to go over any issues or just to have good
Yeah,
communication.
okay.
But, from those reports, I can see all the ins and outs of our cash. And again, we want to make sure that what they show is the road commission's portion of the pool account, it matches our records. So, but that was just an example of the report we received.
And who do you interact with for that?
Kirsten, who is the deputy treasurer.
Okay.
And then Michael, who is their cash. There's like 3 or 4 people.
Okay.
It's on these meetings. It's just something that we just felt it was important to
Mhm.
keep those lines of communication open. Any issues the road commission has or county treasurer's office does. You know, it's a good opportunity to discuss. And, you know, I think the communication with the treasurer's office in particular has been great in my tenure here, so. Yeah. And cash is very important, right? So,
I think so.
yes. Any questions on that at all?
I don't see anything further.
Okay, and just lastly, we received 9 township billing payments already. I mentioned that program's off to a great start. We submitted 18 township agreement billings, the first billings. And the fact we got 9 back already, payments, is tremendous. Some of the townships, we will send them an invoice, and probably less than a week, we will receive a check in the mail, which is pretty amazing as far as the turnaround. We typically expect 30 days. Some of the townships don't meet on a regular basis. But the fact that the turnaround has been great so far, you know, I think the program's going very, very well.
And they've already approved the funds, right? Because they have to sign the annual agreement
Correct.
before it comes to us.
Yes.
For adoption.
Yep,
So it's not like
Sometimes-
there's a lag that they have to then.
right.
Okay.
But I think sometimes like us, they need to meet with their board to receive approval to cut the check, so, yeah.
Commissioner Green.
Approximately when does our construction season close, given the winters here in Michigan?
That's a great question. You know, there's usually a lag between the work that's done and the bills that are processed. You know, from my perspective, I've seen it go into November, December, at least as far as payments to contractors and so on. And Matt, I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, typically, November 15th is considered seasonal limitations.
Okay.
But if weather is still good and the contractor is willing and the agency is willing to move forward a project, you can still work further. But eventually, our asphalt plants will shut down for the season. That's usually a big factor for us because a lot of our road work is asphalt roadways. So we want to make sure all the work is getting done up into the point where they're closing plants. And usually they target around November 15th is kind of seasonal limitations that Michigan Department of Transportation sets forth in their specifications for construction. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. But for us, our local projects, we want to wrap things up by October because we're getting ready for dry run
That's what I'm.
and getting our equipment ready. So if it's a local project, something that we're performing work, we're trying to get things done by October. Typically, we're done with our local projects, midsummer.
Yeah.
But some of them end up extending a little further, especially if we have a big program year like we did this year. So, and that dovetails nicely into the operations report. So I can certainly speak to that after Dan wraps up.
And I think that's important too with our township billing program to try and get all the work done, all the costs through our system so we can send out the final billings. If you recall, if we don't receive payment in a timely manner 60 days after year end, then we may not be able to include it with the previous year's budget. So it is important that all that gets wrapped up. We send out the bills and hopefully receive the payments, you know, even in this year, so we can apply it towards this year's budget.
Didn't you tighten up the back and forth on the numbers so that if there's any residual, it can be discussed with the townships about how to deal with that?
Yes, we've made a lot of strides in the last several years and continue to make improvements, which is great.
Good job. A lot of numbers floating
Yes,
around
a lot of
here.
numbers.
Absolutely.
And that's my report unless there's any other questions.
Nothing?
Thank
We're
you.
good?
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks,
Thank
Dan.
you.
Thank you.
And for the operations report, I'm going to provide a little summary that Adam had given me notes on. I will note that Adam Lape and several other members of the operations department are meeting with the University of Michigan. They have an annual meeting ahead of the football season to discuss traffic impacts, readiness for game day events. So it was very important that they be there. And so Adam asked me to go ahead and provide his report.
This is your big chance.
I'm ready.
Little gotcha with Adam. Here we go.
All right, no, I appreciate that. And Adam did pass along with the change in the way college football is doing their venues this year, added a little wrinkle. Usually by the time the Ohio State game gets done, we pretty much stand down from game day activities. Now with the college playoffs, Michigan could host something in December, which will add a little wrinkle for us as a winter maintenance agency for the freeway system to get to the football stadium, the big house. So that is something that they definitely need to engage and talk about. So more to come on that.
Does U of M help us with overtime?
No, that is not something that is part of what they do. We do that as part of our responsibility for maintaining the roadways, but we need to recognize when we have big events and we have large traffic volumes anticipated, we have to be on the ready. So if we have a weather event, we may have people call in or scheduled overtime. So it just depends on what the situation is. And that even occasionally does happen in November.
Right.
Towards the end of the college football season. So, but with Adam's report, he did want me to let you know that the countywide seal coat program has been recently completed. So that's that two-step where we do the chip seal and then the fog seal. And a lot of our roads are, I don't know what percentage, but the good majority of them have been painted as well, looking really well. Well done by our crews, a lot of combined effort to get that done. But the crews are now focusing in on some drainage projects, probably get back to some of the culvert work. If there were other projects that need to get accomplished this year that were permitted and ready to go. Also, we've got district crews working on local road improvement projects through our local road program Dan was just mentioning. I know one of them, which was brought up earlier, Lamplighter in Scioto Township, those roadways are underway with berming and drainage improvements. So won't be long before the limestone goes down there. So that's exciting to hear. And then also we're on our second round of mowing for our primary roads as well. So with that, were there any other questions regarding the operations department report? One thing I also failed to mention, I wanted to make sure to thank Chris Quinter and Josh Summerhill on helping with being so prepared and ready to implement the driver email. They were providing explanation on how to access and then also setting up a temporary password for each of our employees and then having our employees select their own password as well. So walking them through those steps. Also, if they would like, they could set up the app on their phone as well to access their email. So they've done a great job of implementing the new email with our drivers day one, and I'm sure they'll do an even better job for day two tomorrow. So.
Do they get a little tutorial on etiquette and such with these?
So that's
emails?
as we roll out our training, WSRC Learning Academy, there are trainings for email etiquette and managing your inbox, also calendar as well. Yep. So that will be coming forth.
Okay.
But first we've got to start with getting the first step is getting the email. Then we'll be pushing out some training through our Learning Academy in fourth quarter, but that definitely is top of mind.
Okay.
With that, that concludes my report.
Sorry, I'm writing here.
No problem.
All right. Anything else, commissioners? All right, our next meeting will be August 20th. We have a working session on that day. Please be sure to look at your calendars, 9 a.m. Regular meeting starts at 1. Our virtual chat sessions are every Wednesday from noon to 12:30 PM, 30 minutes planned overtimes if needed. In August, tomorrow, Commissioner Green, August 14th, Commissioner Yamas, August 21st, Commissioner McCullum, and August 28th, Commissioner Smers. If you're unavailable to take your assigned day, please make arrangements for someone else to cover that and then let Aaron know. Please advise if you're not going to be in attendance at any of our board meetings or will be delayed so that we can make sure we have quorum. And if there is no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Support.
Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Remember to vote and see you August 20th.